Hello, and welcome back to Wonderland Asylum. We're back today with issue 81 of the Hachette Partworks release of Titanic, the ship, the legend. So, what's in the magazine? First of all, we have an article on the Neronic, which was another White Star liner that disappeared, apparently. Crossing should have lasted 10 days, but a month later they said, oh, it must have vanished. Again, they said that apart from the lifeboats, the remains were never found, so it must be really deep. Again, they theorise it may have been an iceberg that sunk the Neronic as well. Oh dear. Then on to an article on Carol Bear, who was one of the few male survivors of the Titanic. Went on to be a tennis player and a banker, apparently. That's him there, playing tennis. Very different to the outfits they wear now, isn't it? Looks like he's dressed for golf. And then an article on the St. Louis World's Fair. Oh, yes, an innovative electric car. So they've had them back since then. They knew they were crap then, they've just now decided to try and foist them on us. Anyway, look at the size of this box! Massive. But, without further ado, let's see what's inside it. Okay, so what's in today's box? A truly massive piece of superstructure. A nice pattern floor for the bottom of the grand staircase there. Very nice indeed. Yeah. Very impressive. Again, look at that. Nice big piece. Sorry, just very, very impressed with that. We have, of course, a piece of decking to go on said big piece. We have 3 AP screws. And in here, we have what they call blocking plate. Okay. Oh, sorry, a closing panel. That's what they call it. So, the first thing we need is the existing deck. So, I will bring the promenade deck down and I will see you in just a moment. Okay, so here we have the promenade deck. And what we're doing is turning it upside down carefully. And it's this section here. Now it's been left open, but they're now telling us to put this hatch over the top. And it doesn't leave any sort of space. So I'm not sure what the purpose for this is, but I'm sure it will become apparent as time goes on. So there are 2 pegs to fit it down onto. Again, you're not wanting to put too much pressure, but it should snap into place. And then there are 2 screws that go in here. Again, try not to put downward pressure on it without holding it up, because the last thing you want is to break any of the details that are on the other side. Now every time I touch this, a window falls off, so it'd be really nice if that didn't happen, but hey ho. Again. And there we go. That's it, screwed in nicely. And what that does is it blocks off that wee hole just in front of the grand staircase. Bit strange, but hey ho. Okie dokie, so now we can get rid of this deck, and I'll be back in just a sec. Okay, so that being done, we now have the forward section of the bridge deck here, and all we're doing is taking this piece of decking and it's going to fit on here. Now, it doesn't fit very well actually. In fact, it doesn't actually fit at all on mine. I know it does now. But my advice to you is, because obviously mine has rolled up quite badly, my advice is if you're going to use glue on any of the sections, use it on this one, because it's going to be completely enclosed when all the deck pieces are on, so you're not going to be able to get in to fix it. Okay? So, as usual, some wood glue. Again, you don't need to have too much, it's just enough to add that extra bit of stick. Again, primarily on the edges, because if it's going to peel up, that's where it's going to be. Again, I don't know if everybody else's decking is in the same sort of rolled up state, but as I've mentioned before, this is the room I keep my reptiles in. It's also the room I tend to work in, so it's quite warm. And that's not really the best environment for wood decking, which is why I'm using the glue on each and every section of the wood decking, because I don't want it peeling up. And also I do apologise for the delay with these videos. I have had the stuff sitting for a while, and I do have the first sort of parts of the next build as well, but I've had other things to be dealing with. I did sort of sign myself up to a private project for someone else that's kind of taken priority. So, there we go. As I say, you can see what I mean about how warm it is in here, because that glue, it's all solidified on the top. That was only poured out about 5-10 minutes ago before I started filming. So yeah, it's pretty warm in here, and it has a bit of effect on adhesive stuff, which ain't good if you try to glue stuff down. Okay, so now this is going to be challenging because, as I say, the wood has warped a little bit. So what I'm going to need to do is go from one side and slowly layer it over. So if I know this side fits, I know the other one should be able to be made to fit, whether it wants to or not. It's the other side has warped to the point that I'm having to stretch it out a lot to get it to fit along. It's getting there. Yeah, there we go. Press it all down, all the way. All the way into all the corners. If you look there, that's nothing to do with stretching. There's actually a plank worth missing in this middle section of mine. That's not great, so I'm going to have to see what I can do about that. But I do have a sad feeling the answer is not a hell of a lot. I also have the sad feeling I'm going to have to keep sticking these side pieces in particular down. I'll see if I can find my clamps, and I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so I've got the clamps on and I found a couple of spare bits of wood to fill in that gap at the front there. Not overly impressed with that, got to be honest, but that is us for issue 81. Okay, so that's us for issue 81. What's coming in issue 82? The next piece of the bridge deck with some more decking. So again, a big piece, but not a long issue. That's the way it is though, isn't it? Sometimes you get a massive piece but there's not a lot to do, or you get a load of little details and it takes you forever. Just the way Partworks are. But yeah, there we go. That's what we got this time. Again, I wasn't overly impressed with the fact that the deck didn't fit, but I was able to fix it, kind of. And as I say, you're not really going to see it so much, but you don't want the deck peeling up. So that's why I've got the clamps on to make sure it all stays nice and secure. So yeah, thanks as always guys for watching. Do leave me a like if there's any feedback, comments, complaints, criticisms, and still any guesses of what the new build's going to be. Pop them in the comments section, and do drop me a subscribe to see the rest of Titanic and all of what's coming next. Thanks very much guys, and as always, peace out.